So your man's on his way out.
Jihad attorney at law said they be lying. Can't trust them Harlem niggas, man.
Will Ospreay said he sound like he's done.
Will Ospreay on his way out?
No, he said he had to change his style. That's all.
But Matt, do you think he's capable of changing?
Oh, Matt.
So this is where I came in on the turnbuckle.
Mm-hmm.
I came in and Corey was saying that I need to see Seth Rollins and Will Ospreay, and I'm like, nigga, didn't you just hear him talking about he can't move his arm or he doesn't
feel it?
Yeah, he can't feel his arm. His arm isn't at 100% strength.
After being cleared, by the way, he said that physio cleared him. And he says, like,
nobody cared. Everybody just
he was saying he doesn't have the strength to do certain moves, right?
No, he said
I don't have 100% in my arm.
He said my arm isn't as strong as it should be, and in the past couple years, I've cut out certain moves because my overall body weight is heavier than it was before.
But I think
I can't do a shooting star press along with like the wear and tear on his back and everything else.
But the other thing he hinted at was kind of that
there was context in it.
No, but he was also hitting at he was hitting at the fact that there may only be so much time left.
That I'm on my way out.
So I mean, so I get the question is kind of, are we looking at a year or 5 years? Because it really just depends on how much he's willing to switch his style up, right?
But you,
y'all got to clean up y'all act, Steph Hardy.
Steph Hardy.
I saw Steph Hardy.
Watch y'all mouth. Watch y'all mouth.
She was on Grayson Waller's IG feed on NXT. You can see when Grayson Waller has the IG thing on, Steph Hardy was in the comments. You could see her.
Shout out
Steph.
Shout out Steph Hardy, man. Steph Hardy, cool people.
Tapping in on the Facebooks. Black Rasslin Facebook. Nah, is it a rap? I mean, the way he was talking.
But you froze his.
That's a terrible. He like he just missed on some sneakers, don't he?
I know.
Now he's in his car.
That's how I looked
on a live.
No, but what I mean, I'm just saying.
I'm sure if I had a beard, Cal would be like, "You look like Will Ospreay."
What I'm saying is,
I mean, kind of around the gill.
See,
what I'm saying is, he's in his car on a live, telling the fans that, dog, I can't do what you like to see me do. He's saying I can either change this up. I'm gonna try to change this up, but I can't wrestle the same way. My body ain't gonna hold up no more.
That's right.
And motherfuckers like, oh my God, is what but the fact that this is what people want to see is high risk maneuver. This is what's gonna happen to the rest of your wrestlers.
Right.
And what happens to the people who aren't as good as him?
Yeah.
This is what you asked for. And the Undertaker was saying this shit years ago. He said, yo, you got to go through 6 tables for them to encore. What's going to happen when you got to go through 14?
No, but don't forget, because then on the flip side, he then said there was a bunch of little punk ass video game motherfuckers not living the life that we was living. Like, you to not have to do all that, you have to wrestle a different way, right? Because
then he was the same guy saying he has to go through half a year of recovery and half a year of prep to have one match.
Like the game's got to change at some point. It sounds like for Will Ospreay to continue for however long it's going to be.
It ain't going to be long. And
it all depends on the style. Like it all depends on where you are on the card.
He's around my age. He
because they not
29 is what Drake with Cuz Main said.
But they not expecting you to do that in most places at the top of the card. Will Ospreay
be 30.
He's a anomaly in that way. Most places aren't expecting you to do that at the top of the card.
It's not whether they expect you to do it or not. It's because it's the drive that they have when they hear the fans want it, and they do it to appease the fans, and then they do it at the risk of the betterment of their jobs.
Well, and
their bodies.
It's why the loud minority online a lot of times isn't good for what things are, because if you give them niggas a good story in a match and you didn't, the whole time, and you actually sold, and you didn't take super bumps, and you was just in there telling the story of the match like most main event, like most Roman Reigns matches. Them niggas ain't going through tables. They're telling you a great story from beginning to end, and you love it.
But the thing is,
but you came in here on the mixtape.
A lot of people came in on this bullshit.
Yeah.
And this is the shit that they like. This is what they used to. So they're not used to the arm ball or the rest holds,
right?
Or all that mat wrestling and shit. So
you talking about the pro wrestler or the fans? Because you could say the same thing about the pro wrestler. Though.
So when it's time for Will Ospreay to start doing that kind of shit, is everybody going to support it?
But I think
when we saw Fat Kenny Omega, we ain't like it. It didn't move.
That's because he was doing the same things at the slower speed. He didn't change it up at all. Was the thing he was trying to do the Kenny Omega routine with an injured and out of shape body.
Hey, Kenny Omega did my favorite thing in pro wrestling this week.
What didn't wrestle?
He was on the side and they were brawling on the side of the ring. And was it Daniel Bryan he was fighting? And he pulled the nigga's shirt over his head.
It was Moxley.
It was Moxley.
Oh, the hockey punch.
I got such a kick out of that because I like when wrestling makes sense. Like I like when wrestling seemed like real life.
Is that the only time it made sense on that show? Because all the shit I saw was
basura.
I don't know that part right there though made complete sense.
All right, I have one more question before we get out of the Will Ospreay talk. Because I agree with a lot of what's being said, but the one thing that's going on is the last time I saw Will Ospreay wrestle was now Kenny Omega in Wrestle Kingdom. Will Ospreay
match of the year.
Facts, but Will Ospreay, not Will Ospreay, New Japan
has him with no feeling.
But what I'm saying is New Japan Pro Wrestling is hard hitting. Like you talk about people going for the go in AEW. Kenny Omega in AEW isn't Kenny Omega in New Japan. Is Will Ospreay going to have to leave New Japan in order to kind of do like a Rey Mysterio? Go somewhere where you're not going to be having to move so crazy like that so you can have more time with whatever your career is going to be.
Are you asking the WWE that's going to do that?
Cal, are you asking if he does less for more money, would that make sense for him? Is that what you're asking?
I'm asking if y'all think that's what he wants to do because they talk about this fighting spirit and whatnot. Like if Will Ospreay is going to do what Will Ospreay wants to do, is he going to go somewhere else to do it? Or is he going to just stay in New Japan where he already is?
That would be a question for Davis.
Hey, he on the pod.
We just doing first names all day.
No, again, you can call me Davis. You can call me. It doesn't matter.
Davis, aka Drip.
To me, it's that thing where like, do you want to respect the artist for doing it their way and not wanting to like diminish what they think is below their standards? Like Will Ospreay again wants to wrestle a certain kind of match. He does all these flips. He oversells. He does everything that he thinks in his mind is a good match that people want to see, and that only he is capable of producing. Right? Because you can watch Sammy Guevara and Jungle Boy last night, and they do. And that was just a spot fest between the two, and Sammy Guevara is like,
but it's not good.
No, but that's what I was about to say. It was good, but also it's like, I liked it for just it was cool to see those guys go all out in 10 minutes, try to do as much as they can. But overall, it would not technically be a good match because they just flip to the outside, flip to the outside, and flip to the inside, and flip to the inside. But they still had some amazing moments and showed the athletic part of wrestling. Will Ospreay, in his mind, is like, especially once he made the jump to heavyweight, wanted to do less flips and be more grounded and be more power based, but also show that like I'm Will Ospreay. At the end of the day, I still got to flip a little bit.
I can still do this bullshit.
Yeah, he was trying to be Kenny Omega and have the best of both worlds. AJ Styles still at times will pull out that 450 splash, the spiral tap, and prove that he can be the AJ Styles that was the X Division champ and the guy that was the IWGP heavyweight champ. But age is catching up with him, and he knows that you got to pull that out at the big moments. You can't do that every match. And Will Ospreay's whole thing is whether it's Michael Oku, as Math knows, and Rev Pro in England when it's 2,000 people, or if it's in GCW against Nick Wayne, or if it's Kenny Omega in the Tokyo Dome, Will Ospreay is going to go 0 to 100.
It's the same shit
every time, but he does his pace is to wrestle his pace. He doesn't want to switch it.
But he's saying he does not want to do that anymore.
He's saying he won't be able to.
I think he a great deal of what he was doing was tempering expectations when these folks see him out. Like, listen,
and then here come Corey.
Y'all come to the show because I'm still him, but I can't do that.
Yeah, don't be looking for that.
I mean, maybe he can switch up and have a different style. Maybe he can be more classically British and wrestle a grounded submission style. But
what's his size? Pardon me, I don't mean to cut you mid thought. What's his size compared to AJ Styles?
Will Ospreay? Will Ospreay was doing what Frank Ocean should have done and be like, "Hey, don't be trying to hear no new music or nothing fancy. I'm just out here trying to perform."
He's 6'1", 230. That's what he's listed as right now.
6'1", 230.
Yeah.
And that's up from whatever he was when he first started wrestling.
Yeah, he was probably 180 when he started.
That's a big body.
Jump. That's a jump. Yeah, and that's a lot for 230 to be doing them flips and kicks and twists. And he's putting again. If he's wrestling the speed that he was wrestling in that Omega match at the end of the year, I can't see him doing too many more of those matches. But
that match, they made the purpose to again, he takes a face first bump on an exposed turnbuckle and Kenny Omega bashes his head in through a table and they do all these flips and
but
they were willing to, like you said, Cal, it's New Japan. You got to leave it all out there. Otherwise, what's the point?
No, right. But I remember this because now looking back at some of the spots that I had questions on in that match, there's a part where Will tried to jump up the ropes to do something, and he had to get back down. He was either too gassed or he just wasn't in the right headspace at the time to do it. Now I'm wondering, was he overexerting himself trying to make this match be what he thought it should have been, which is dope, but not if it's going to be the detriment of the rest of your career because you can't have no more of those matches.
It's your last damn match.
Well, and then that's what I'm trying to say. Do you respect someone for calling it quits if they can't wrestle their way, or would you rather see someone wrestle at 50% of what they were and it not be the same? Try a different style.
I would,
because that's the argument we're having.
I would rather the motherfucker be okay,
right?
Other than like Mimi was saying, Dynamite Kid, which you were saying.
Yeah, Meltzer's always said that about Ospreay. Like he's worried, and this was 3 years ago, I think, but Meltzer doesn't help when he's like, Will Ospreay has the most 5+ star matches,
giving him 8-star matches and whatnot,
and wrestling, and says like this man is now the best wrestler in the world and better than Kenny Omega, who I think took that extra step on purpose due to, and maybe that's the influence of one man that they put too much stock in. I can't blame these guys for
that's a good point though. That's a good point.
But maybe it's the motivator. Like I want to be better because this guy is the main voice, and then who's the best? If he said Ric Flair was the best, Ric Flair was going to go have 60-minute draws in Kansas City.
And that's California. The problem. And
then look what happened. And then look, Ric Flair still wrestled at 60, but like at
what's the
0.5 speed.
What's the life expectancy of a running back, an NFL running back? 3 years?
They say that, right? Yeah.
So you mean to tell me this nigga for at least 50 shows a year, which is 3 times more than an NFL player. I'm just talking right now.
You just putting numbers together.
Doing the exact same, like your body is impact all the time. You see what a running back look like 15 years down the line, right?
Mm-hmm. And that's not including like head trauma or any type of actual injury. That's just going out there and doing the stuff bell to bell.
What Dre say? 26, 27 years old is the ceiling.
For a running back?
I don't know if he meant for a running back or what shit. It's probably Will Ospreay is what 20 if 29 said 29.
Yeah, he'll be 30 next month. Yeah.
We're talking about end of the career.
And maybe we know like when did you start? Did you start at 8 or did you start at 12 playing football? And like the wear and tear as your body gets bigger and you start going harder and all that, like it gets tougher as well.
It's a Zion Williamson conversation, right? The more talk on your body, the more you put that more weight on. You know what I mean? You gotta play different.
Yeah,
you gotta play different.
It's the same thing with boxers,
play
right?
Above the rim and be that big. Your ankles and knees and hips ain't meant to take all that.
It's the way you breathe is different. The way your body, you can't be
even as an adult.
Facts. I remember reading. There's a couple of or like talking to was it Roy Jones Jr. where he went up in the heavyweight and he was talking about why he was ass when he was heavyweight, it just couldn't move the same.
Yeah, screwed his body up. Yeah. He beat the
like when you look at Solo,
then
Solo is winded. He's winded. He's getting better, but he looks winded after a match.
You got to work on this though.
Yeah, he's a good sized guy.
But he's now getting more reps in the last couple months than he was when he first showed up because he was just supposed to be the enforcer role. Now they're trying to put him back in the ring like he was in NXT to show this guy's next up.
Mm-hmm. But he's got to learn how to move with that weight.
Do it every day.
Yeah,
every goddamn day.
Did Patrick Ewing's knees ever work fully? He always had the Dusty Rhodes elbow pads on his knees. Always looked like he was gonna play hockey.
But you also gotta remember they had bad sneakers.
Yeah,
whole time.
You ever seen a pair of Ewings?
Oh, they're still bad.
That's what he's saying. Yeah.
No, they're bad in 2020.
Bad sneakers.
I was like, yo, those look hard. I asked somebody, it was like, nah, don't buy those. Your feet gonna kill you.
They're gonna,
your feet gonna hop off your body and stab you.
That's why the brand is doing so bad.
That's in college. He had them joints on.
That's college.
Look at his hairline.
That's Pat Ewing. Look at his.
Ain't got nothing to do with it. That's a brand new line. That's a new line. That nigga look like Eddie Mustard.
Yo, do you see that?
He got the Damian Priest. What's going on there?
Don't do that.
It looked like Damian Priest.
Don't do that, yo.
That's my fault.
No, but like I think on the first time he was on Chris Jericho's podcast or the second time, Finn Balor said as soon as he got to NXT, they had to retrain him. And Terry Taylor said that's what saved his career in terms of like Terry Taylor said, like, by you spending 4 months training here without even having a match, you're going to get used to taking bumps this way and saving your body because you wouldn't have lasted 4 or 5 more years over there. Here, you can have 8 to 10 more years. If you.
But the thing, the wild shit is even them niggas be fucked up. So if you don't learn that way, which I'm not saying you got to go, but you got to learn another way than the bumps that you taking because even them niggas is gone.
Yeah.
They fucked up over there. Where it's nice.
The land of milk and honey.
I mean, it's like two conversations with wrestling, right? There's the one school that says save your body, conserve, only wrestle such and such and such. And then
that means don't do it.
There's also the group of
that, or you're Brock Lesnar. You show up, you hit 6 moves, and you go.
Right, but then there's also the school of folks that say, well, nah, you have to get in there every week and build a callus. You know what I'm saying? This is why you have so many injuries. It's why so many niggas is brittle in the NBA because of that goddamn load management. Yeah, load management is killing niggas' bodies and pockets.
And that's been the argument for Logan Paul. Like if Logan Paul wrestled bi-weekly, would he be able to do the stuff he does, the big spots that Matt and I talk about, like that make
as
him
long
special?
as he don't lie about his injuries, he'd be fine.
No, but like
I broke my elbow and my collarbone.
So hold on.
He said my whole leg was gone. It was like
I think I had a stroke mid-match. Like, why are you lying to niggas?
So you're saying what am I experience? Even though you have the experience, you still have to take them. You still have to get reps in, even though you got the experience.
When you say you talking about somebody that wasn't a, let's say, WWE performer who's now coming to WWE after being like on the indies for 10 years?
I'm saying like a nigga that knows how to bump.
Like a Tyler Black going to WWE.
I think speed. I think when you laid off like that and you come and try to wrestle a match after some time, speed and time, and you can't.
You got to build that.
Yeah, you don't know speed and time. I think you have to get that back. You can't just come out there and be like, I'm back.
Those 2 years after that knee injury, Seth Rollins was kind of taking it slowly. There would have moments where he would do the big spots, but it wasn't until 2018 where he was kind of back to normal with like the crazy high flying and the top turnbuckle spots that he was known for. He was trying to rehab that knee and wrestle a slower, more methodical style.
Damn devils.
The devil.
Never convinced me of falling back on my back.
That's facts. It's all facts.
Too many wrestlers with painkiller addictions. Yeah, Rey Mysterio was just talking about that in an interview recently. That's interesting. No,
well, he had to put on all that weight once he got over. They They put him on the cycle, and he just that broke his body down. Like fans
Well,
like too much weight on that frame.
That's probably one of the things that Will Ospreay would have. Like if Will Ospreay were to go to NXT right now, not even talking about anything but just like the culture of weightlifting, like they'd be in the gym, they'd be just putting up iron. He would naturally put on more muscle.
But I feel like they lift lightweights because a lot of those guys are slimmer, which you got exceptions, but most of those guys are slim muscle. They like Orton type muscle and not like Like
New Japan,
they're cocky niggas. Yeah, they slimmer guys now.
It may just
in New Japan they have that solid like Inoki frame, like it's all muscle, but like
that's where he's at right now. That's
it's not cut. It's just like it's still like iron on the inside. Yeah,
that's literally him right now.
Because you see with all the guys, Okada, Takagi, like they're lean and muscular, but they're not defined or cut.
It sounds like that conversation he had in the car that he allowed us to be in on is great. That may be the start of the decision he has to make. Is it going to be the next year and change, and I'm just going to do what I want to do until it's a wrap, or because it sounds like it's going to be not just a style change in the ring, but maybe like a lifestyle change. If he's going to have to be taking down weight, he's going to be learning different stuff. He's going to go somewhere else. That's a huge decision for him because it's probably easier for him to get more gold right now where he's at right now than go to a whole nother system and do something else. But I don't know.
Oh, you punk bitch.
I don't know why you gotta talk to me like that. I ain't do shit.
I'm talking about James Harden.
I talk wrestling. He called me a punk bitch.
Sorry. I said sorry.